Hello there, YouTube. This is Tab here. We're doing the trim that's up on the top of the cab. Um, had quite a bit of stuff going on, but this is the one thing that I decided to record. It's kind of a just a basic rudimentary thing. Um, Removing these pretty much self-tapping bolts or screws from this upper trim. You really can't get to it with a socket or anything because it's just uh, over half of the head of the screw is under the trim. So you have to, I wouldn't say have to, but using a open end wrench is um, probably your best option. So we've got a lot of different projects going on that's associated with this truck. So this one here is not uh, too difficult, but it's fairly simple and straightforward. So we're just loosening those bolts and trying to get them loose enough that I can pull that seal away from that truck. It's stuck on there pretty good. So it took me a little bit of working and trying to get it loose. I was trying to be as careful as possible because if I need to, at least if I remove it and I don't tear it up too much, then I can reuse this part. One less thing to have to replace. There, there's so many things involved in the process of trying to paint a truck or trying to do body work. These trucks, the older trucks, especially this one that is, you know, close to my own age. So, a 40 plus year old truck. So it's got quite a bit of things that need to be taken care of. It has a little bit of rust rot back behind the rear wheel, near the bed where they all want to rust. It has it on both sides in the same spot. This truck has an excessive amount of trim. Uh, it's just crazy. As you can see, right below where I'm working, it even has that trim that goes around the back of the cab, that wide Chevrolet trim. And there's bolts inside the cab that you have to get to and take off to remove that, as well as down the sides. There's a lot of through bolts that are attached to the trim, and you have to try to get inside, either under the hood or up underneath the bed or places like that to take the bolts off of the trim. The trim has like I wouldn't say a bolt, but it's like a threaded a threads that go through a drilled out hole in the body, and it goes inside, and it put a nut on it. So you have to try to get wherever that's at and take the nut loose and pull the trim off. And then in between those, I guess they kind of put those in the trouble spots. And in between those, they have these little sticky things that slide underneath the trim. So usually you pop them off, and then you have to take a razor blade or something and kind of clean those spots off and try to scrape off the whatever it leaves on the body paint. So right here you can see I've about got this one loose. I kind of pull it up and away from the truck while you can only loosen those screws so far. So when you do that, you have to kind of pull it up and away and and make a little more room so you can finish loosening them and then remove the trim. As you can see, I just got the trim loose, and I was just checking it and taking the screws and kind of sticking them back with it so I could keep up with them. So now we got that side done. We're moving to the other side. Um, so same process on this side as the other side. We're just I'm just going through and getting everything loosened up, getting it ready um, to try to pull it away from the body, just like the other side. And this video went from it took me around 30 minutes to get everything loosened up and pulled off, and so I sped it up down to where we have 10 minutes here. So if you think of every little project as you go through um, this process, it's like 30 minutes here and, you know, another 30 minutes somewhere else. And, it really adds up. It turns into hours of time that you spent just doing small things. Like this truck had running boards down the sides, and you go to take those off, and there's there's regular like 8 millimeter bolt heads on, you know, self tapping screws that are run through, and then there's like a random flathead screw run through, or there's different sizes. So, as you're working, you have to continuously like change a size or change a type of tool, a Phillips, a straight, then a metric, then a standard. All of those things create such time loss and trying to have tools and find tools, and you keep like two power tools ready. You have a just a regular drill driver, and then you have a impact, and so you put bits for the straight heads and the Phillips and a drill, and then you have the driver, and you can put the sockets and stuff like that, and that so you can get stuff loose and go along with your business. Um, and sometimes you just use the tools you have. You see here, I'm using a a wood chisel to get behind inside of that trim to pry it away from the truck. It actually works pretty well. It has that angle on it. You can stick it in and kind of prise it without scratching the truck, because you can stick it where the cutting side is on top, and the angle helps you to get underneath that trim and start prying it out to where you can get it off. So here's our my little video for today. Um, there's plenty of things left to do, and this process is ongoing, and gonna take a while, but I'm really excited about when I get to the finished product. Um, I got a few things in mind, and I just kind of been working on that and trying to think every day about what I can do, and about how much I enjoy working on things, and some things take a long time and a lot of effort, but a lot of times when you get to the end, you look back or somebody looks and says, "Wow, that's really that turned out really well." And I believe everybody should try to do things that will make you proud, that keep you busy and keep you motivated to do other things and to keep going and that's great.